Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is finally going to be a how I purchased goodies from Thai Twitter. This video has been in the making for weeks. I've refilmed this video 7 or 8 times and they always turned out not that swag, and I just don't feel like posting something that I just hate. So quick disclaimer, I wanted this video to be more of an experience video where I show you guys how I went on Thai Twitter and how I buy stuff from there instead of a how-to video, because I don't know how helpful I am in teaching, but I hope this video was at least interesting to watch if you were curious on how I was able to buy all this stuff from Thai Twitter. A quick special thanks to Holly from Jolly Holly, Miss Holly, and Cam from Zimcelebi. Thank you both of you guys so much for all the questions. Okay, so let's just get started. I'm on my iPad right now. Originally, I wanted to film this on my phone, but then I realized that the iPad is probably better. So let's get into it. What tags or phrases do you typically search up? In the US, you would use willing to sell, WTSNCT or WTTNCT for willing to sell or want to trade, etc. But for Thai Twitter, you would use this tag here. What this says is basically NCT market. It reads tลาด NCT. tลาด means market, NCT is NCT, so NCT market. This is the overall tag that people use to buy photo cards, any official goods, non-official goods, fan-made, random stuff. Sometimes random people would post clothing as well. You see this green shirt here. Maybe it's Neo City green, but I don't know. Generally, people post under this tag for everything NCT related. So overall, the tลาด NCT tag as a whole is kind of the WTS tag. So the big tag just contains all of the members, items, all of the items in general, all different types of items. People post selling posts here, trading posts, willing to buy posts. Just like US Twitter, there's things that are on hand, there are things that are coming from somewhere, there are things that are from K-sellers. So you know how in US Twitter, group order managers would buy stuff off of K-Twitter in lots and then sell them or put them up for claim? There are people that do that as well on Thai Twitter, but they call it deal cards instead of claim. But a lot of times, there are a lot of items that are on here that are on hand. A more specific way to look up items or phrases that I use other than the big tลาด NCT tag is to put the members' names right next to it. So this is taeyong's name in Thai, and when I search up that, any items that gets posted that has his name integrated in some way into the tweet will show. This is how I look for taeyong's items specifically. For me personally, I find that I prefer to look through the tลาด NCT tag as a whole rather than going to a specific person's name, because a lot of times sellers don't put the members' names in the tweet. A lot of them do, but a lot of them do not. In general, I prefer just looking through the big tag in order to find any items. But sometimes I will search up specific people, but I'll still leave all the members' names in Thai down below just in case any of you guys are interested in just looking up Thai Twitter for funsies. Okay, next question. How much cheaper is the price range of Thai sellers? So this is one of the reasons why I buy on Thai Twitter, other than the fact that I can't find shit on American Twitter anymore. But the prices on Thai Twitter are a lot of times a lot more affordable. Honestly, I don't know why it's cheaper. I just know that it is. Although a lot of times the prices are very similar, if not the same, as how much something would be in US Twitter as well. So say these cards here, they're circle cards, photo cards, And this Mark T version card in this photo is around $7. And Johnny's Superhuman is around $6. Although I feel like these prices are still, like, you can still find these cards in these prices on US Twitter, but I feel like that's a little harder to come by. But I do think that like prices around this range is very normal for album photo cards on Thai Twitter. And this tail circle card is literally less than $2, which is really cheap in my opinion. Here's another example of pricing. So these album cards went up today 3 hours ago, and this is like Mark's cards. We have Regulate, Superhuman for around like $6, Taeyong's Empathy Dream version cards for $6-ish, $7. And around Fan Party T version, Doyoung's album cards, Jungwoo's, Jaehyun's, Dreamy's, Yuta, other members. So I feel like prices are slightly cheaper. It really depends on which seller you find and however they want to like price their cards. I'm honestly a strong believer in letting people like price their cards at whatever they want. Some people will overprice cards, like although I don't like it, I'm not gonna yell at them. These empathy cards, like wow, $6. I don't know if you guys saw, but like on eBay there was like a bid for like his reality version card, and it went up to like, last time I checked it was like $150, which is like crazy. What goes on? But then there are people that be like Taeyong's Super M card $550. That's almost $20. That's an album card, love. One more thing about prices on Thai Twitter. I recently have been hearing a lot of people speaking on the topic of different member pricing. And Thai Twitter is actually notorious for this because popularity of a certain member really dictates how much their goods go for. If a certain member's items are so sought after and there are a bunch of people trying to compete to buy a certain item, it's very likely that the seller would up the price because they know that it will sell anyway. Everybody hates pricing by popularity, but that is basically the norm on Thai Twitter. Like, look at this Jaehyun Kino card. It's 1,170 baht. And that is around $40. Jaehyun is definitely the most popular NCT member. That brings me to the other question, which is which NCT members are more popular on Thai Twitter, or which members' PCs run more expensive. And for 127, it's definitely Jaehyun. There are definitely times that he comes out the same price as others. It's just really depends on the sellers and, I don't know, morals. Kino card I showed earlier for Jaehyun was $40, and this is Tails, and it's 250 baht. And that is $8. I do feel like it's slightly disrespectful to treat Tail's sexy ass this way. Sad to say, but people are used to it on Thai Twitter, I think. Okay, next is, how do you communicate with Thai sellers? Quick backstory about my life is that I am Thai. I'm from there. I can read and write. I can speak. I'm fluent in Thai. So I am able to text them or DM them in Thai and just carry the conversation that way. Do you have bank transfer, or do most Thai sellers use PayPal? Thai sellers do not use PayPal. They do use bank transfers. The seller would send like their bank information and then their name and stuff, and then with the Thai bank you can just transfer money directly to the bank account, and it has like no fees or anything. So this is what the bank slip looked like, and then I would just send the screenshot like back to the seller, and then I send them my address, and then they'll be like, okay, thanks, shipping out like this day, da-da-da. Have you ever been scammed by a Thai seller? I'll show you. This is the list of the people that this one seller has to return money to, and I'm in this list as well, and they owe like hundreds of people money, and we have this one group chat of people just like roasting the shit out of the seller at all times. Yeah, this was the one and only time I've ever been scammed on Thai Twitter so far. However, I've been scammed on American Twitter countless of times. Where do you get the items shipped to? I get all my items shipped to my house. Since my dad is my proxy, he'll send me photos of things that I get in the mail. So these are just some photos that he sent me in the past. Short answer is my house. Alrighty, so next question is, how long does it typically take for items to arrive from when you order from a Thai seller? It's either with what they call registered mail or EMS. Registered mail takes about 3 days to 5 days, and EMS takes about 1 to 2 days, but mostly just 1 day. So when you get the tracking number, you can track it using the Thai Post website, Thailand Post. For example, this is one of my previous tracking numbers that I received. This was an EMS one. It only took 1 day. How much is DHL or shipping in general? Domestically registered mail is 30 baht. That's about $1, and EMS is about 50 baht, or just under $2. For DHL, I go through this shipping company that ships with DHL, but they're able to give a better rate. And this is their Facebook page. They have prices up right here. It depends on how much weight your box of stuff is. The last time I had my brother ship the box you saw in my haul video was about, I think it was 2,200 or 2,400. So that's about like $80. Do Thai sellers sell other groups as much as NCT? From my personal experience, I've only gone on the NCT one and the wavy one mostly. I go on the wavy one to look for the Take Over the Moon Thai press PCs. I really want to collect OT for that for some reason, but I do go on wavies a lot. I also go on EXOs sometimes as well to look for Baekhyun's photo cards, but since I don't collect Baekhyun that hard, I rarely ever go on there. But I do know that there's a really big EXO fandom community that sell goodies on Twitter as well, and I also know that there's a tag for BTS, but since I'm not too familiar with BTS and their merch, I'm not too sure. I've never really been on the tag before this video, but I do know that this is the tag that people go on. I guess there are like postcards here and pins. I'm not sure if these pins are official though. I've also been on the Red Velvet tag because I tried looking for Irene's cookie jar card for my friend once, and I found it on this tag. Basically, for every group, you would just do Talad Nut, which means market, and then the group name after. So these have just been like Talad Nut Red Velvet, Talad Nut Wavy, Talad Nut EXO, etc. So like for every group, you could just do that. Say like Talad Nut Treasure, or like Talad Nut Astro, perhaps. Like I think it would turn out because Thai people do be standing like hella different groups, like so many different fandoms. What cards do you see that are pretty common on Thai Twitter that you do not see on US Twitter? For this, I think I would say Denim PCs. I felt like it was super easy for me to find the taeyong ones that I needed, but nowadays it's starting to get a little bit harder to find. Like I don't see it as often anymore. I actually just bought an extra denim set for taeyong because I was looking for specific Jaehyun ones that my friend was missing. I could still find denim PCs now, it's just not as common as it was. I would say also other Thai press items like the eco bag PC from Neo City era. Actually, I take back about the Thai press thing because the Take Over the Moon Thai press PCs are still nowhere to be found. Best and worst experiences. For me, I feel like for best experience, I would say whenever somebody DMs me after seeing my willing to buy post and they actually have the card, and I can actually buy it from them, it's actually the best thing ever. When I post a willing to buy post, I did not come to play. Like, if I want something and they DM me and the price is like astronomical, I'd still buy it. If I posted a willing to buy post, it means that I want it so badly. So whenever anybody from Thai Twitter hits me up in the DMs being like, yo, I got your card, it's literally the best thing ever. And this has happened a couple of times, not just for cards, actually happened for my Mark doll that I keep mentioning in this video. Actually, courtesy to this other Thai girl that has been helping me a lot with getting cards, finding things in general. She actually hit me up in one of my last videos saying that she was Thai as well and if I ever needed help to ask her. And I actually took her up on that offer, and then she's been helping me out a lot in finding cards and goodies, including the Mark doll. So shout out to you. So that's probably my best experience. And then for worst experience is probably the time I got scammed. The seller, she's quite young. She's like 2 years younger than me. And not to like bring age into it, but since she's a high school student, she doesn't have much money. The total that she owes from everybody all together is about $4,000. And she came out to say that like she doesn't have that kind of money. We're all still waiting for this little girl to pay us back. Other than that, I really don't have any bad experiences on Thai Twitter. It's quite fun. Any advice for those interested in using Thai Twitter? The really important thing is that you're aware of the time zone and time difference. Thailand is 14 hours ahead of California. So the most active hours on Thai Twitter is probably around 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Thailand time. And so for me, those times are actually 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. So when I was really hardcore looking for cards, I would wake up specifically just to look at cards. It's like really dramatic, I know. People tweet in the tag all day long at every hour of the day, so it's not even like those hours are just it. Some people post in regular daytime as well. I check the tag all day, every day, all the time anyways, but I just find that during those like 5-hour window is where it's the busiest and people post the most. I think that'd be something that could be helpful. I do realize that for non-Thai speakers, it may be a little bit difficult to navigate Thai Twitter because all the tweets come out in Thai, and I'm not sure how accurate the Twitter translate thing is. It may be a little bit more difficult to go on Thai Twitter if you can't read Thai, although I feel like it'd still be kind of interesting and fun to like lurk on there once in a while still. And I hope this video was still interesting to watch, even though it may not be helpful. Will you be opening up commissions or serving as proxy to help subscribers get some goodies? I actually have never thought about this until Cam asked me this. I don't really know if there's even like interest in this. I'm going very slow, like very chill. Like I don't have a schedule on when I ship things over to the US, etc. So like if I do open as like a proxy thing, I feel like people might have to wait a long time. Cam, if you need something on Thai Twitter, just text me. I don't know if there's interest in this at all. Like, I don't really know. So that was it. That was the last question for this video. If you have any other questions for me, leave them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you. Or if you just want to say anything, leave them in the comments below. To be honest, my favorite part about making videos is reading the comments. And thank you so much again for watching, and I hope this video was at least interesting in some way. It really took me a long time to edit this video, so it really means a lot that you guys are watching it. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.